last night, and we'll put covers to it later, and we can show you how to do the covers too. But these are good because they're cut out of squares, and they're just folded and glued, so you don't need any sewing or needles and all that stuff. And so these just open up, and these are good if you want to do like sculptural books. You can do little pop-ups coming up, or just build on it. I've seen a lot of people do that, or you can just draw it and collapse this back in. And we're gonna use maybe there's other like methods or picking or number of sheets you want, but usually an odd number works out really good for this, and I think that's the way it only works out. So we're gonna do five sheets, and they're all gonna be folded the same way, and we'll glue them down and it'll all come together. But what you want to do is fold it in halves on both sides.
So this has
Or
a
both
side
ways.
that's perfect square.
It's perfect square, yeah.
Okay.
Smash book, I think. I think they're also called accordion books. They're just different types of accordion books.
If you're gonna do the pop-up part, do you do that while you're folding and preparing it before you start gluing?
Well, it'll naturally just come up, but if you want to put in things in, you just have to make sure when you fold it back in, it'll fit in.
Okay.
And people just glue things on top. Most of the pop-up books, they have, just little folded paper, just glued in.
Okay.
Or
That's what I was curious
yeah,
about.
just adjusted to it.
And I'm going to be bringing a bunch of pop-up books for next week for us to look at and how they made certain things now that you guys have played around for a little bit. And you'll look at it's from that guy, I can't think of his name, that's known for all his pop-up books. And I have a Star Wars pop-up book. I got a fairy pop-up book. Saw an MC Escher pop-up book, which I thought was pretty cool looking. And but I didn't have the $30 at half price to pay for it. So I was like, all right, I'll wait on that one. But it looked pretty neat.
Okay, just to show you guys the other fold you need to do, since it's just both sides in. You want to flip this over.
You're folding them in half
Yeah, on both.
and both ways.
Both ways. And then because there's only 3 folds to this book, the other fold you want to do is you want to do it against what you just folded. So just flip it over, and we're going to fold this in diagonally. It doesn't matter which way, since it's a square, of course. And then you just want to match up and make sure. And it's okay if it's not a perfect square, because of course nothing is cut perfect, and it'll all fit in, and most of the times you can't even notice unless you analyze it.
And if you
pretty
need to, you can
hardcore.
trim it down too.
Yeah. So you want to do all your 5 sheets just like that, or you can actually do however many you want. As long as I think it's an odd number, it should be fine for it to close in.
If you have graphical images on one side of the paper, which direction should that be? The inside or the outside, or is it just your
I
discretion?
think it's the inside,
Give me some glue sticks.
because
I
you
have
want
an
it to
office.
open like
Sorry.
this.
Forgot to grab those.
So these are folded in. So wherever you fold in, that's what you want your image to have. And also, you can also flip it out too.
Just bring that
You can
box.
do both sides if you want to. And I've seen people do that, but of course, just the way you fold in is where you want your image to have. And we can write image here. So that one's ready.
And in my book, it has some examples of these, what they look like. So when some artists have done some really fun imagery details with it.
So your diagonal is folded the opposite
Mhm.
direction.
The opposite
Of
direction.
folding
Yeah.
your initial half.
And that's what it causes it to spring up the way
Okay,
it is.
That's what I was trying to figure
Yeah.
out.
That's 3.
Turn over, fold diagonal.
And you could use your bone folder, of course. This paper is super, well, it's not thin, but you don't really need it. So you just use your fingers. But when you get thicker paper or even like a little bit nicer quality paper, you want to use your bone folder because that'll keep it from you putting all your oils on your paper. That's what the bone folder is for too.
But this is not acid-free paper, so
So it doesn't
it
matter.
doesn't matter.
It's all right. Yeah. You can't keep count.
It's hard to count and talk at the same
Yeah.
time. And I will say, every time someone sees one of these books, they're like, "Oh, cool! Wow! How did they?" And it blows people's mind how you do it. It seems so complex, but the truth is, it's really easy. It's a really easy book, and if people really kind of figured it out, they're like, "Oh, well, that's not too." But it's it's one of those little like fun, quick
Still gotta
sales.
do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not that difficult though.
No, I just mean, all that
Yeah.
easy stuff.
Yeah.
Wow.
So since you guys are gonna have your sheets, we have all 5 already folded. We use that one as the first one. And this is where you pretty much start gluing already. Cool. And so we're gonna start from, I guess, left to right.
And a glue stick, you think would probably be the
Yeah, a
best thing
glue
to
stick
use.
would work really good. I have Elmer's glue, which I use for these. Just glue it. And you could do both sides, but I don't think you really need to on this paper. And okay, since this one's folded down, you see that fold coming up. Let me make sure I did that right. Yeah, cool. So you want to, since this is both the same way, you want to do it the opposite way where this goes in. And just glue this in. And just to see how it'll fold in, hopefully this is the right way, because this should fold in like that, and then these fold in the opposite way. So just so we know we're doing it the right way, just go and make a quick test. That way you don't waste the rest of your time doing it the other way. And it's, oh my gosh. it's
And
all
if you
wrong.
do get it backwards, you can force it.
Mhm.
If
You
it's
can,
thin,
yeah.
If it's a thin enough paper. Yeah.
Mm.
So.
So we have that, and then we're just gonna come back and put them in, like. And we'll do the same way with that.
So just up and down and up and
Mhm.
down, basically.
Yeah.
Mountains, are supposed to make all mountains and mountains.
Exactly.
Major term.
It can be. We'll make it one. So, and we just go back in. Stuff out the way. And with these, you can also corner around everything before you glue it in, so it'll have the round corners. Or even the paper before you start. But I think it's good to have the diagonal, or the corners.
The edge.
Yeah, the edges. And then with this, you just want to fold everything in. So, I guess the glue came out and done on that one, but we'll just fold it in.
So the glue stick is a recommended thing on this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or
you
any
could
glue.
Yeah, any glue will work. It's just you just want to put too much glue and it
Right.
shoots out. Glue stick kind of holds it together.
And so this is it. We just collapsed it back in. And if you don't want it to be super springy, yeah, you can always clamp this down.
Or you can put it in the book press.
Yeah, in the book press, or just put a lot of weight underneath it. And you can also, let me get, can I use these?
Yeah.
Just want to get something thicker. like paper just so you could clamp it in so it could be all the way through. And it's probably not a good example of like things to use, but I usually like to use binder's board or even like cardboard or even wood. Like if you have like any extra left over from wood carving, you guys can make stuff like that. And then just clamp it together. If you don't want it to spring back too much, which I think it's cool when they spring out, but since this paper is really pretty thin, so there you go. And we can add covers to it later, but this is just something simple. And you don't have to add covers if you don't want to. Just make it you can make the last two on just harder stock, like thicker cardstock.
You can put a fabric around
Yeah.
it. Okay.
And so this one's a smash accordion bug. You guys can pass this back.